यार मेरे को भी लेना बताओ दिखाओ तुम्हारा
Perfect.
Can we start?
Yeah, man, we can start. We are already top of the hour, so let's start.
Okay, so hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on your time zone. Welcome to the Mavericks session. My name is Devashish. After successful session on GRC, today we came up with CSM based on your feedback. Here is the today's plan. The introduction session on CSM by Pranav. Then we have a Q&A session, then followed by a quiz, and then after we will move to the final Q&A session, and later on we will announce the next event announcement.
So, what is the reason for two Q&A?
Yeah, Dhruv, no, it's before the quiz. We will preparing, so meanwhile you can take over the Q&A session. Then after the quiz again, we will finalizing the winners. Just we are utilizing the time.
Nice.
Just a brief intro. I have more than 5 years experience in Servicenow platform. Currently working in Pfizer. I am one of the organizers of the team Maverick from the beginning. And below the LinkedIn profile, if you want to connect with me. Let's welcome Pranav, our new MVP. Over to Pranav.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. So let me just start sharing my screen and yes guys, okay guys, let me know if you are able to see my screen. Can anyone confirm?
No, we can't see your screen.
Okay.
No, not yet.
I think it should come now.
What screen you are sharing?
Just sharing the whole screen.
I can see.
Hold on, let me just try to share again. Better now?
No, I can see the themes or something like that, but
okay, I think
Pranav, you can share the whole screen, okay? Maybe you are sharing a sequence window, that's why.
Yeah, now
okay, awesome. So sorry for the technical glitch and all. So my name is Pranav and today's session is about customer service management and it's just a first session. So here today it's more of like going into the instance and looking into the components and all. So initially I'll just give you a brief introduction of what exactly is in the ServiceNow CSM components and all. So this is the blog, so I'm gonna share you the link after the session. You guys can go ahead and look into this and you will see like whatever I have covered, it will be written here. And also like if you have any question you can just add in the comments also. Okay, so firstly, before we start customer service management, we should know what is exactly customer service. So customer service is all about providing services to customers before, during, and after the purchase of a product or a service. So whenever you, like in normal scenario, if you buy anything, you get some kind of a service, right? Okay, if it doesn't work or you get warranty, guarantee, or whatever it is. So now why we need customer service and all. So like there is an old saying that customer is king, right? So whenever you have more customers you will get more sales and definitely you will increase your profits and all. So that's the whole idea of whenever you have any products and all. So that's why if we give them a proper service and all, they will be happy, and probably in future when you have newer products and all, so they're gonna just try those products also. And if they don't get the proper service, and if your product is super good, then they will just spread the negative word, okay, there is no proper service and all. So I have seen in my experience, like I have bought certain products, they were good, but they have really bad customer service, and that's why people were reluctant to buy those kind of products. So that's the reason we need customer service. And so now coming to what exactly ServiceNow's customer management service management solution offers. So ServiceNow's customer service management applies a management discipline to the customer service and support for the external customers and partners. So it gives you multiple, in simple word, it gives you some kind of a how service management things that you see in the ITSM world and all, like you have the incident problem change and all. Similarly, you have different entities here that we're gonna discuss in future. And so plus it will just give you multiple channels also, from where the customers can connect to ServiceNow CSM product, and they can just raise their cases and all these things, right? So if you look into this, I hope you guys are able to see. I'll just zoom it a bit. So in this, you are able to see that we have multiple channels. It can be phone, chat, portal, email, social, virtual agents, all these. There are multiple channels other than these four, and from there they can raise a case, and the case can also integrate with the other service management solutions like incident problem change and all, that is with different integration that are come with out of the box solution. Okay, so now let's talk about, like, some of you might be thinking, okay, if it's kind of similar to the normal ITSM, like table is there and you're creating and all cases and all, so why we have a separate CSM application? Why not we utilize something like the incident and all? So let's talk about this scenario. So a customer, if you don't have a CSM product and you are utilizing the same ITSM product and the ITSM team who are like taking care of the customers also. So what happens is, like, suppose a customer comes up, they say like, okay, my phone or any kind of a product is not working or some issue and all. So the agent will just simply say, okay, he may be right, he will say like the probably the IC or the microprocessor or something that's part of the that particular device, it's not working. The agent might be right from the technical point of view, but the customer is not aware of these technicalities, and they will be like, they will feel like dumb, what exactly is happening and all. And they will be thinking like, ah, that maybe the this company is hiding something from us and all. So that's not a like a proper thing, like we should give it to a customer who's already in trouble, right? So whenever we are talking to the customers and all, it's like it should be a clear and easily understood wording, so that they can understand the things properly and they can just go ahead with the solutions and all. Okay, so that's why it's always recommended that we have separate teams who are managing the CSM as well as ITSM and all. Okay, now let's talk about some of the key features that we get in the ServiceNow customer service management application. So one thing we get is the case management. So case is the main entity we're gonna look into about in the case table in the demo. Then we have the omni-channel support, means you have multiple channels from which you can create a case. You get the agent workspace integration with the case, like agents will get the workspace and all that you might have looked into the ITSM products or other products. Then self-service, external access, knowledge management, customer portal, consumer portal, major issue management. So major issue management is nothing but major case management. So issue and case, it's kind of same in this wording. And when we also have virtual agents, then we have the service management integration, playbooks, mobile app, walk-up experience. So these are some of the features that we have in ServiceNow, this application and all, and there are a lot more. So I'll just add some links here so you can just go ahead and look into the features and all. Okay, now let's talk about the difference when we are talking about CSM and ITSM, right? So both, the difference between both the products is very subtle, right? So like, but there is a difference, right? And as I was telling you, like, if you go into any ServiceNow application, you will just feel like, okay, this same table architecture and all, but there is some differences that you will see. So first is, like, if you talk about customer service application, its objective is customer satisfaction and retention. And if you talk about ITSM application, its objective is to support and enable business outcomes, right? And if you talk about CSM application, it's a scoped app, and I think we all know what's exactly a scoped app. For those who don't know about what is a scoped app, it's nothing but a container, like where you can store your components related to application. It just increases the security and all. So that's CSM is a scoped app, and ITSM is not a scoped app. And CSM is used to support external customers. This is the most important point when you are dealing with, when you have something like, okay, you can, some customer comes up, okay, what exactly is your use case? If they say about, yeah, we have some B2C business we are doing, or B2B that we are doing, then it's always the CSM that we have to go. And ITSM is like, it supports the users of IT who are typically part of the same organization. And coming to the CSM, in CSM we have the only one primary entity, that's a case table. We also have different, but case is the main table where every transaction will go through the case table. In ITSM we have multiple entities that you might have seen: incident, problem, change, request, and all these things that are there. And in CSM you have something called as case types. So I think case types was released in Orlando release, or if I'm not wrong. So its case type is something like you can have similar kind of a processes, right? If someone, if you have, if you guys are familiar with the HR process, so in HR we have different COEs, right? Similarly, case have different case types. For, I can give you an example. So a same company is having multiple teams who are using CSM in different ways, right? So now certain team has a different process to CSM, so they can't utilize the same table. So what ServiceNow provide is the case types. What case type does is like, it will just extend the capability of the CSM table, create a separate application scoped app for the case type, and then they can customize the process based on their need. So that's there. We're going to talk about case types in detail in next sessions. Today we're just focusing on the basic, like components or entities in the CSM world. Okay. So, and there is no kind of case types or incident types or anything that are there in ITSM world. That comes with out of the box. So definitely you guys can extend the incident tables and all, but that's not a recommended practice and all. Okay. Now coming to the customer service plugins. So we only have one core plugin, that is the customer service plugin. If you go ahead and you can just go ahead and install this plugin, and once you install this plugin you will see like other plugins that are also activated. So here's a link, I'll share this link also with you guys. You will see when you install this customer service management plugin, you will see that these are other plugins that are also installed with the CSM, like special handling nodes, shape flows, and all these things that are there, right? And let's get back to the article. So there are some additional plugins that are also there with customer service management. So additional plugins will be the integration between CSM and the ITSM application, like incident, problem, change, and field management and all these things. Then there is something like time recording, that is the plugin that is there. Plus there are certain other plugins like communities. So what you are seeing in ServiceNow community, it's built on the community product that comes with the CSM and all. So I'm not sure, right, or like whether ServiceNow is giving that product separately, but when I last implemented it, community was coming with the customer service plugins and all. Okay. And here's my tip to the new developers or admins. So when I started learning CSM and all long back, so at that time, I what mistake I did was like I installed everything. So I went and searched with customer service and installed everything into my instance, and it was kind of confusing for me. So that's what I would say, like just play around with the core plugin only initially. If you're new, if you're like planning to install the plugin, just stick to the core plugin for a couple of days and see what you get, right? And then slowly move into the different like plugins and all that you might see, like, okay, if you want to play around with the integrations, install the service management plugins and all. If you want to play with community, install the community and all. So Here is the list of additional plugins that you can see. I'll also add this in the comments after the session, so you can see different plugins are there, and sometimes it's like overwhelming, and if you install certain plugins, then you might be confused what exactly it's doing and all, and it's like kind of like issue when you install everything in one go, right? So I don't recommend that. Just start slowly and then move into other plugins and all. Okay, now, so this is about the customer service management plugins and all. Now let's talk about different types of entities or components that come with the CSM. Okay, so first thing we need to know that ServiceNow's CSM application supports both B2B as well as B2C business models. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. Certain components that you're gonna see here might not be relevant when you are talking about the B2B, and some of them are won't be relevant when you're talking about B2C and all. Okay, so if you like case table, it's kind of common for both, like for B2B as well as B2C, both uses the case table and all, and this is the primary entity of the customer service application, right? So a agent can create a case, or you can like a customer can directly go to the portal and create a case, or they can send an email, or they can chat through virtual agent, or they can just post it from some other integration that can be done, and they can create a case, right? Now comes the like concept of account or partners, right? And contacts. So account or partner and contacts are part of B2B business. Okay, so an account is nothing but it's like it stores what exactly the name, account number, all these detail of whatever the, like you have an account that you're providing services and all these things, right? So that is will be stored there. And what I can give an example of account and partner is like ServiceNow. ServiceNow has an account, and other companies that are there who are like building service now for their clients and all, that are partners. Basically they are also selling the same services but what service now is selling. So that's a concept of account and partners. And account or have contacts. So you, whenever you have account record, you also have some contacts that are related to that. So contact will store the name, phone number, emails, and all these things that are there. And if you want the like this contacts to access the service portal, then you have to give them a user ID so that they can access the portal and create the cases there, right? And just remember one thing, that account can contain multiple contacts, but one contact is related to one account. Okay, so this is a very important thing to note down. If you want to note down, you can note down, and it will be available here also, right? And now coming to the consumers. So like we have accounts and contacts when we are dealing with B2B business model, we have consumers. So consumer, we have a consumer table which store the consumer records and all. So the difference between a contact and a consumer is like, for example, we, if we are talking about a Apple phone, we buy an Apple phone or a Samsung phone, right? We are consumers. Right. So mostly, I think most of you have faced this kind of a thing. Like whenever you buy a new phone, you have to go to their company portal and register. Sometimes, okay, that we got this phone, right? So you have this phone, so you are a kind of a consumer, right? And now coming to like when you are talking about a business to business, there it's like no concept of consumers. There we have the contacts that come into picture. So this is something that keep in mind. And one tip that I can give you on when you're dealing with B2B and B2C, and just when you're starting as a developer, only focus on one business model. Only go with either B2B or B2C, right? Because if you try to like grab both the things together, you might get confused, because there are certain entities that won't be related to B2C, and there are certain entities that won't be related to B2B. So just focus on one, then move into the B2C world. Okay, then we have the agents and managers. So these are just records that are there which will be which will just deal with the cases. How we have the agents who have the ITIL role, In ITSM world, similarly, we have the agents, customer service agent, who will deal with the customer service cases and all. And then we have the concept of products and assets. So product is nothing but a service or a good that company sells, and asset is a particular instance of that product. So for example, like I'll just go a bit into the asset management and all. So a product, in simple words, I can say a product can be an Apple iPhone, like iPhone 10 or 11 or whatever, right? So that can be a product, right? An asset will be something that is owned by the consumer or the contacts or whatever the business model we are dealing with, right? So that's an asset. And on top of that, there is something called as model. Right. So that model is something like what you say, the company or the particular product, like Apple iPhone, because Apple will be having multiple models. iPhones will be there, MacBooks will be there, AirPods or whatever that are there. And inside of each, we have something like products. What are the different types of product? It can be iPhone 11, 12, 13, whatever that's coming up. And each product that is owned by a particular consumer or a contact, that will be having like a particular asset. So that's the concept of product, asset and all. Okay, so now let's go into the entitlement. So an entitlement is nothing, it's something like type of support that a customer gets. Okay, so it can be related to accounts, customers, consumers and all. And so what you can see, like we have, like we have different types of two types of entitlements that are there in ServiceNow. That's, I think, one is the cases and one is the, I think, hours. That are two that are there for entitlement, and based on that you can just get the entitlement. Okay, let's give an example. So a particular account has an entitlement of opening 10 cases a day, right? So they are entitled to open only 10 cases, right? If there are more than 10 cases, then there might be some contract thing that is there. So that will be saved in the service contract. So service contract, the last term, that service contract is nothing but terms and conditions that are provided for a certain account and all, right? So and that these are some of the basic terms. There are a lot more terms that are there in customer service, but if you are just starting with customer service, you will hear these terms: case, accounts, contacts, consumers, agents, products, asset, entitlement, service contracts. Okay, so in this link you will find some of the foundation data. If you need to go and look into the more information about it, you will find all these things here, like what exactly is the foundation data for this customer service. Okay, now let's talk about the last thing, then we're gonna move into the demo part. That is the customer service case flow. Okay, so I hope you guys are able to see. Let me zoom it a bit, or I need to change the image for this. Okay, so what happens is, like, firstly, the case is created. A case can be created from from any channel. It can be social channel, phone, email, chat or whatsoever. Okay, then once the customer case is created, it will be created in the new state, right? And then the agent, that agent, whoever the agent is, they accept the case. Then the case will be moved into the open state. Okay, now what agent wants is, like, agents is thinking like, okay, I need some kind of information from the contact. So I'll be using the word contact now, because I don't want to confuse, like, confuse you guys with the contact and consumers. So let's stick to contact. So when they request a info, so the state will move to awaiting info. And once the state is in the awaiting info, then what will happen is, like, the contact will, what it will do is, like, they will enter the information that was requested by the agent. And once he receives the information, the state goes back to the open. And once, like, okay, it's open now and the agent works on it, and he or she resolves that, then the state gets back to resolved. And if customer accepts the solution, it will be closed and a survey will be sent. If it rejects the solution, it will go back to the open state and all, right? So this is how the out of the box process looks like. Now I talked about case types a bit, when I was giving you some idea on the CSM features. So in case type, so you can modify this particular process for a different teams that are having different case management life cycle. So for example, I when I worked on this CSM project, so there were like two teams. One wanted like, okay, after work in progress, we want a work in progress state, right? So after open, we have work in progress, and that was it. And other team wanted the same thing. So we had to change the process, and we had the case type functionality. So we utilized that, and that is how we did case types and all. So yes, that's pretty much it that I wanted to cover in the theory part. Now let's move into the instance and see some of the entities that we just discussed. Okay, so first thing that we have to look into is the plugins. So I already told about like what plugin you want to install. So it's taking a bit time. So we need to install this particular plugin. So now if you search with this plugin, so I've already installed this plugin. So go ahead and install this plugin today and you will get the CSM application. Okay. And now see, as we all know that CSM is a scoped app. So you will have a particular scope that is created, customer service scope. It's still running the transaction. So let it complete, then we're gonna look into the entities and all. I think it's complete now. Okay, so this is the customer service scope application that we created, and we got this particular scope. Okay, now let's look into the application. So if you look into the application, we have multiple things that are there. So the main part is the case, right? So let's click on this create new button. So now you can see there are different entities that we just discussed. Some of them are familiar, like the assignment group, assigned to, and all, because case table's parent is task, right? So that's why we are getting all these assignment group, assigned to, and all these fields that are coming up. Okay, and let's talk about firstly the channel. So as I was discussing that we have different channels: web channel, phone channel, email, chat, and all these data channel, right? So for example, let's select the channel as chat. Then you have the accounts, right? So probably right now I don't have account, so let's create one account. So we can just go to the accounts. We have this customer accounts. We can just go to the new, and we can just give the account details. We can mention that whether it's a customer or it's a partner. We can just give it like this and just say account 1. Okay, now we have the account. So now we know that account should have contacts. Okay, so let's add one contact. So I'll just say contact 1. I'm just adding this now. Okay, I need to give some email straight off gmail.com. Good. So now we have this one contact, and you can see that once I created a contact, you get these role automatically: SNC external and SNC ESM user, right? So this is happening by a business rule that is running on the contact table. If you want, you can just go ahead and look into the BR, or I can just tell you the business rule also. So I think it was at role something. Yeah, you can see that add customer role to the contacts. So this is the business rule that is running on the contact table, which is adding the roles and all. So whenever you add that role, so automatically that user will be able to access portal and all. Okay, now we have the contact, we have the account. let's go back to the case table and let's create new. Okay, now we have this one account that is there. If we just go ahead and we can select a particular contact, and then we have the product or asset that we can select. So right now I haven't assigned any product and asset to this account, so we can just keep it blank and just a normal case, and we can just say test description test st. And similarly, you see this related search. This is similar to how you see in the ITSM world. This is one special handling node that is there, so I'll come to this one after I submit this case. I'll show you how it works. And special handling nodes is available across other application also. You can utilize special handling node on other tables. Okay, so once I submitted the case, so you can see that we get a timeline and all. So I'll give you a heads up because I have enabled one extra additional plugin, that is a timeline plugin that I enabled. So that's why I'm seeing it. So if you are not able to see this, so don't worry, because that doesn't come with the base plugin. Okay, so this is there. Now you can just assign to me, and once the case is assigned, then you can see that the state moved to open. And similarly, you will be having this UI actions that are there, where you can request info or propose a solution. Once you propose a solution, then the state will move to resolved, and once it is resolved, then it will be closed and all. So close process happens in the same way how it happens in the ITSA world. You have a BR, but in ServiceNow customer service, or if I remember correctly, like they have a flow which auto closes it. So if you want, you can just go ahead and look into the auto close flow that is there. Okay, so now this was the whole case table that is there. Now let's talk about the special handling nodes. So if you go to the accounts, okay, we have this account, and we can go into the related links and create a special handling nodes, or we have the module itself, special handling nodes, that where you can just go and configure it. So I can use this related link. Those of you who are new to ServiceNow, and I would recommend going into the modules rather than going into the links, because you should know the, like, firstly the longer way and then go into the shortcuts and all. That's the approach I follow. And now you have the short description. You can give anything like test note, and I have the message, what message I want, so I can just say test notes again here. And then you have like standard or conditional. I want this to appear every time, and I'll just select this display as pop-up alert, and then I have to give some expiry when this will be expired. So I can just simply say it will expire on 31st of March, and let me just quickly save it. Now let's go to the customer service and create a new case. And when we select this thing, so we'll get the special handling nodes in the related list that you were seeing, right? And whenever you open the same case again, which is related to this account, you will see the pop-up that is coming up. Okay, so we already have one case that's created, so let's go there. That's account 1, and we should be seeing the pop-up. So we are here, it's loading up. Yeah, you can see that we get the test notes that are there, and we have the special handling related list. So this is one feature that's there, and it's available across different applications. So go ahead and play around with this feature if you want. And this is, and these are like generic fields that you might have seen itself in the ITSM world also, so you can look into this. And we have the escalate case, and like this is another functionality in customer service management, so we're going to talk about in the future sessions and all. Okay, now let me just show you the customer service portal. So if you go to your instance and type CSM, so you will be redirected to the portal. This is the customer service portal, and it looks like almost the ITSM portal that we see, the SP1. So here we have the knowledge, here we have the get help, so and most read articles, featured article, most useful articles, and all that are there. And here you can have the all cases or create a product case. So if you go ahead and create a product case, it will take you to the record producer of that, and there you can just fill the fields that you want, and you can just submit a case. That's how it works. And you have, then there's a support tab also, where you can see the all assets, catalogs, contacts, publication, and support profile. So this, right now I have the admin role, that's why I am able to see all. But once we talk about roles and how roles work, like we have different roles here in customer service. One is the agent role is there, then we have the manager role is there, then we have proxy case creators, and we have the consumer roles also, consumer agent, customer agent, all these roles that are there. So once we have these kind of a role, we discuss about these, then what we're going to do is like we'll create contacts, accounts, and give them the proper roles, and let them create and see the whole process in terms of a real world scenario. Right now I'm just doing with the admin role and all. Okay, so this is something about the case. And you I can also show you something like, we also have this integration that are there, service management integrations. So I haven't enabled a plugin yet, but when you enable a service management integration plugin, you will see create incident and all these things that are there. So I can just show you the service management. I hope that's the, because I don't remember the plugin name exactly, but you can see customer service management, and it's customer service management, customer service.
That's, I guess, CSM with the customer service management. Service management. CSM with customer service.
Yes, correct.
Something
Customer
like that.
service with service management. This
Uh,
one, this one.
yeah.
So this is the plugin, guys. So if you want, you can just go ahead and install this. You will get the functionality of incident, problem, change, and all. So anyway, we have a session planned in which we're gonna discuss about this. And there is a like a concept called extension scripts that ServiceNow utilizes in this integrations. We're gonna discuss about that also. Okay. And let's go back to the instance now. So we already discussed about contacts, accounts, partners, and all. So what you guys can do is, like, now you guys can go ahead and create consumers and see how consumers are different, right? That's like kind of your homework, and all what you can take is like go ahead and do what I did exactly in the instance, enable the plugin, create contacts, accounts, and all. And one thing that I'm not doing is creating the consumers. Create a consumer and see how it goes. Okay, and once you have some idea on that, and then just let us know if you have any questions on that. And last thing, let's go into the entitlements. And so I was talking about entitlement is something that what customer have. So we have different units, cases, and hours, so that are there. So I gave an example, like suppose account is entitled for 10 cases, right? So they can open 10 cases and all for the particular account. And account, it can be to a product, or to an asset, or to a particular contact, consumer, or account. So that's how the entitlement works. So what I'm seeing, what I have seen is like they add some more to it. Like certain clients want to add like probably days also, or something like that. So if you want to add those things, you have to add some business rules in the backend and just configure it accordingly. So whenever the case is created, ServiceNow automatically checks for the entitlements and all. Okay, so guys, that's all I have for you for today in this session. And I'll be adding the links and all these things into this article and share with you all. And in the future sessions, we're going to talk about case types, major issue management or case management, integrations, and also we're going to discuss about the B2B and B2C portals in some more details. So that's the plan for future, and I hope you guys like it. And now let's move into the questions. Uh, the question that you guys have.
Okay, amazing session, Pranav. Firstly, thank you for this wonderful session. So I'll be asking you the questions on their behalf. If you have any confusion, we'll ask them to unmute and they can
Sure.
ask their questions. Okay. So
So we are
first question that
seeing.
we have
Mhm.
is from Ranga Nike. What is the significance of adding these roles?
So, like, if you're talking about adding the roles to the contacts that you just saw, so roles work in the same way. If you have the SNC external role, then they will be able to access the portals, right? So, I have seen clients who doesn't give the role. They ask us to deactivate that business role because they don't want their contacts to go into the portal because they don't have that matured solution, right? So, what they do is like they disable the portals and they remove that VR. So then they won't be able to access the portals and all. So to add, the significance of adding the role is nothing but like to give them access to ServiceNow. If you have like we have SNC external and internal, same thing in our ITSM world also. So it works in pretty similar way. Okay.
Okay, so I guess if you have, is that answer your questions, or if you have any counter questions, you can unmute yourself and
Yes.
shoot.
Nothing, Dhruv. Actually, this SNC external I have seen in the Paris service portal. We are having that scenario, right? Raising a user request from service portal.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, this use SNC external will be auto added
Yes.
while going through all approvals and the user got created. But here also it is adding the same SNC external for the contact. So I just got this doubt. What's the significance here in this? Is there any specific scenario mentioned contacts as well? Yeah.
So no, there was no specific scenario. Just like I was explaining you, whenever you create a contact, right, for a particular account, you these roles are auto added. This is a out of the box functionality. That's what I
Yes.
was trying to explain. We will gonna discuss about roles because these are just roles for contacts or the consumers that we were talking about, right? But there will be roles like that are related to agents and managers. So the whole roles concept is still pending, and we're gonna talk about in the next sessions. Okay.
Yeah. Got. Thank you, Pranav. Thank you, Dhruv.
So next
Okay,
question.
next question is timeline same as SLA?
Okay, timeline and SLAs are different, right? So timeline is nothing but it gives you a representation of how much time it was with the agent and how much time it was with the like customer and all. So Dhruv, let me just share my screen again. Hold on. Let me know, guys, if you are able to see my screen. Okay.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay. So if I'll just keep it. So, okay. I'm just going to the tab. Okay. So when you look into the case, right? I'll open the case. So you won't see the timeline if you don't enable the timeline plugin. But this is just a representation of how much time was it with the agent and how much time was it with the customer and all. Okay. So if you want to configure, right, this thing, there is a table called as resolution shaper configuration that is there. That is not, you won't find that in here directly. You have to just use the table name and all. If you go ahead and then you can specify like what will happen, like what is the conditions and all. Okay, so it's a new state and all these, like whatever you want to define. So requester state that are there, right? So awaiting info and resolved, that means it's with the customer, right? So this is how it's configured in ServiceNow. SLA is totally different. So SLAs and all will be attached at the account level and all. Okay, for example, there is an SLA that will be for a particular account. Okay, for this account we have to resolve it in 8 hours and all. So timeline is just a GUI that gives you a graphical view and show you the time and all these things. Okay, does it answer your question?
Yeah, Pranav, it answers most of my part.
But I just wanted to know one more thing, that do we have SLAs on case as well?
Yes, so definitely. So if you have SLAs on account level, so what will account level SLA do? It will be like when there is a case that's created, the SLA will come into picture when there is a ticket that's raised, right? In simple
Right.
scenario. So if the ticket is raised, then only it will be like come into picture, right? So like it's directly proportional. Like account have SLAs, it will impact the case. Okay,
Okay. Right. Right. Once any of the ticket is
correct.
raised for the same. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got
Awesome.
it. Thanks.
Special handling notes will
Okay,
appear.
so
I think I can read it. Special handling notes will appear for all cases created for that specific account until yes. So it will appear for all the cases created for that specific account until the expiry date. So yes, that's there. Any follow up question on this, Akansha?
No, Pranav. Thank you.
Okay. So can you please elaborate special handling notes? Okay. So special handling notes is just a feature that ServiceNow provides to give the agent some idea. For example, like there is an account that's escalated. Okay. And what I have seen is like where it's used, like there is an account that's escalated and the service provider are on the verge of losing that account. So they added that special handling notes. Okay, do like whenever you get this case, do with perfect care, or it's a P1 account or whatsoever. So it just gives the agent some heads up what they are dealing with, right? So that's a simple term. It just gives some agent some heads up, okay, that you are dealing with this type of account and go ahead with that. Okay, does it
so
answer your
it's like
question?
this customer is crazy. Handle it with care. There's something
Yes,
like that.
yes, absolutely. So when you're okay, so Akansha, okay, Twinkle, you are asking when you said special handling note is available across different module. Okay, different module. It's a shared entity. So I can say like let's take a subject like you have client scripts BRs, right? They are being utilized across the platform. Special handling notes also can be used across the platform on any table. If you go to the special handling modules, you can configure special handling module for your incidents also. So this can be a good activity for you guys. It's a straightforward process. Just go ahead and configure the special handling notes for your incident, problem, change, or any table that's there on the system. So you can do it, use that. So Twinkle, does it answer your question?
Yes, it helps. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So Aksha, special handling notes plugin is free, but roles require subscription. To be honest, I don't get into the subscriptions and these things whether it's free or not, because this is something I don't get into that. But and it
Tough
is
topic.
free that I would from my knowledge, but I would recommend just contact with your like account representative and they will give you a better idea on that. Okay. Okay. Does it answer your question, Akshay?
Yes, Pranav. Thank you.
Okay. And Kaka is asking, is the entitlement refer to billing work? Kind of, yes. Entitlements is something like you have that this account is entitled for this much hours of work and all, right? So these things are mentioned in the contracts, service contract. Okay, there is a service contract that will be there with the accounts. Okay, for this particular account we have this particular number of cases they can open, or this much hours they can consume. So that's kind of used for billing purpose also. That's what I can say. But if you want to ask something different, you can just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, for now, this is Kaka here.
Mhm.
Like in cost model, like what we are doing, in case we are charging for a high priority incident, like let us say uh, we are charging for 10 incidents for this much amount. Is there any scenario in the entitlement, or for this we need to use cost model itself?
So this is same thing, right? So you have this entitlements and service now automatically checks when the case is closed, right? So suppose you have 10 entitlements for a particular account, that they can create 10 cases. Once a case is created for that account and once it is closed, then service now will calculate that entitlement. Okay, now this account is entitled only for 9 cases, right?
Mhm.
So in that way you can just see the remaining units are there, and based on that you can generate a report and do the billing and all. So that's there that you can use, so you don't have to utilize a different tool if you are managing. So the thing that comes up is like, so still what I have seen in the customer service implementation, that clients are hesitant to use the service contract application that's in the ServiceNow. They use a different tool to store their contracts and all. They have not migrated, so some of time they use the entitlements outside of ServiceNow. But if in your use case, whatever you are saying that you are charging for 10 incidents or anything, then you can simply use the out of the box this entitlement application. So that will also solve your purpose.
Okay, thanks.
Nitesh, so I think Nitesh was answering to Kaka. Yes, like you can create. Okay, Nitesh, is there any specific question or you are just answering?
No, I was just answering.
Okay, awesome. In that case, okay. In what context does install base? Okay, so in what context does install base come into picture? So install base is something that's related to the products that the customer owns, and this thing comes into picture when you are dealing with CSGM. So if CSGM is a different concept, so see it, I'll divide it into two. One is the CS is the common services and DM is the data model, right? There are some set of standard services that ServiceNow give, that's like a base, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, like these are some standard set of shared services that are there, and the data model is coming from the same term, like the CMDB that you have like multiple tables and all. So in that respect you have the install base and all. And if you go into the CSM, you will see an additional plugins for install base. Right now you only see one case, that is the like our product case that is there, but there are two more: install base and order. So that is something I didn't cover in this scenario because I just want to keep it very simple. But yes, install base is there. There is a table, it's like for the products that are for the particular customers or that are there, right, that are linked to that particular customers. So if anyone wants to add something, that's what I have.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so Rohan, okay. Rohan Raj is there. So, if CSM and ITSM is integrated and we have a case, and can the agent working on the incident interact directly with the customer? Okay, so the thing is that there is a out of the box syncing. I think you are talking about the synchronization between case and incident, right? So generally what happens is like whenever there is a incident has some work notes or additional comments that goes into the work notes of the case. So agent won't be directly related to the ITSM agent, won't be directly related to the customer service customer, because as I already told you, it's not a best practice to let the ITSM guys who are trained in ITSM agents and all deal with the customer, because they will give them a whole technical solution, right? So I just come up for, like, for example, I am a customer, right? I have a issue with my phone. I just want it to be fixed. I don't want to know into the technical details, okay, what exactly is happening and all. So if you look into that terms, it's not possible. Like, we should not let the incident agents to deal with the customer service agents, okay, customer service, uh, like customers, what we can say, okay. So out of the box,
And
the work notes of the commands or work note are synced to the customer work notes, customer service case work notes. So I think you want to add something, Rohan, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah,
And
that
just
makes
before Rohan says it, sorry Rohan to cut you short. Just one thing. We'll put a boundary over here, so we'll take the other questions after the quiz because the quiz is ready. And let's play that, and we'll continue with the Q&A afterwards. Will that be fine, Pranav? I mean,
Yeah,
if that
let's take last question from Rohan, and then we can just move into the quiz. Okay,
okay, man. Sounds perfect.
Rohan, you want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
I have no further question. That made complete sense. So thank you so much.
Awesome, perfect. So yeah, Debashish, back to you. You can just start the quiz now.
So guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be sharing the link for the quiz. It's a Google form and it has 10 questions and 2 minutes, and the winner will be based on max correct answer in this possible time. And here is the camera. Just give me the
So,
link for the quiz. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Devashish, one thing, are Mavericks allowed to play or
I think we have the answer, so it's better we
that's
don't
why?
play.
Okay, guys, let's start that. So, link is in the chat. Just start. Your
Yeah,
timer
I'm
starts
starting
now.
the timer. Okay. Enjoy, guys.
And Devashish, open that Excel. Let's see who is sending answers quickly.
Okay.
I think Nitesh is answering a lot of questions for us. Thank you very much, Nitesh. Yeah.
People will take time sometimes.
Yep.
Hey, don't open the email.
No, I haven't opened the quiz.
Open the Excel. I mean,
Yeah, the
or
Excel
hide the
will load. Yeah, the Excel will load. It will take time.
Okay. So, put your timer on the screen.
Yep.
And one thing, guys, whosoever wins, it's your luck, it's your knowledge. But if you want to get the prize, you need to send us your addresses. And the people who won last time, I have sent them today, last, I think, Friday morning. So I'll share the slips by tomorrow, most probably. The last weekend was held for me. So you need to send us your details in the Telegram group. Max by today evening. I mean, max by tomorrow 11 a.m. Because after that, I'll go to the courier service and get the previous slips and send the details for new winners.
The actual hard work is done by group, right?
Yeah, man, that's not a hard work as such because I have to just back it up. Yeah, but I think I should take help from someone in that. Okay, so last second, stop that thing and Devashish, download the Excel. We are good. We are not accepting any more responses. So till then, Pranav, you share your screen till Devashish comes with the responses, and or should I share as you wish?
You can start sharing,
Let
and
me share.
I'll just take the
Okay.
questions from where I left.
We missed the slide, man.
No
Okay.
worries. Okay, guys. So Mohit, I think Ujjwal, or no, hold on. Uh, can you please give any real world
Rohan,
examples for? Can you please give any
Rohan
real
was
world? Rohan's question was done, right? So didn't had any further
yeah,
question.
yeah.
So can you please give any real world examples for accounts? It can be any account, right? So what I can say, like I'll take my Nike's account. So, so that's there. So it can be any kind of accounts and all, and it depends on the business model again. So if you are dealing with some kind of, suppose I have a company A and I make some, like let's take an example of COVID vaccine, not vaccine, like COVID case, uh, COVID tracker or
I'll
something. You want to?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah, let's.
Tried. I'll try. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are two types of models that ServiceNow
Hmm.
comes up. One is B2B and B2C. So first, understand the difference between them. So one is first. Let's take the B2C thing. It's like I am providing service to consumers directly. So I have a shop and I sell products, or I'm a iPhone company and I'm directly selling phones to consumers. So that is B2C. Account, then comes the B2B where company provides support to other companies. Okay, so like ServiceNow has different accounts like Nike or something, all its customers, which itself are a business entity in them They are not individual people. So account refers to them, right?
Yes, really good example, Dhruv. I think it's clear now for VK. Okay, let's go to Gurjot. Can CSM be implemented in a global scope as well? See, CSM out of the box it comes in a scope app, but if you want to implement inside of a global, you have to create all the entities like case and all these things. This like I don't know why you want to implement in global scope, but it is recommended practice and it's a best practice to do it in a scope way. Right. It can be done, no doubt, but I don't recommend it. So not a best practice. Can you show an example of after? Can you show an example after creation of entitlement? So yes, we can give you an example of that, and that's planned entitlements and contracts. These are planned for next sessions where we can have some more like examples on entitlements and all. Because right now, I want to give the entitlements like when I'm impersonating to a particular contact, and they will go into the portal and then they will create case, and I'll also have one more person who will be the agent and they will be just closing it. So just hold on for this. If you want, I can give you an example on that, but hold on for next session and you will get some more clarity on this. Okay. And Ujjwal, can we have some use case on special handling features? I think I already answered this. Can we have a use case? Nike's account Ron, thank you for answering that. When you say entitlements are there to keep a track on how much you utilize for this application, does this mean these entitlement can't be extended or renewed? Do we have some UI action for how? Okay, this is a good question actually. So how the renewal process happens for entitlements? So when you have this entitlements, so these are linked to the contract. So I think I need to look into that. Like, is there any kind of a button or UI action, something that renews that? I think it will be there when you have in the contracts, but I need to check. So give me time after the class. I'll look into that. But good question, Mohit. So Dhruv, you want to add in on this one? Do you have any idea on this one? Okay.
Idea about I simply missed that. I was just preparing the results.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll just copy this question and paste it over in our personal channel. Okay. Okay. Kiran is
Okay.
asking, can we use the timeline plugin with other applications? Example item. So timeline comes for only CSM, and I think it can be configured. You have this kind of a resolution, sharper, shaper, or something that's there. Try adding this to other application, but you have to create a record in the resolution shaper configuration. I think you can do that, but like I don't know why you want to use an item, like maybe in which table you want to use, but you can utilize it in ITSM or anywhere. Like you have to just check that one. Can we
You
have
can do that actually. It is available for other applications
yeah,
as well.
so I was just showing you that configuration, right? So I think you have to add that configuration, resolution shaper configuration for a new table. Okay, so let me
That is
just
a table where you have to add the configuration.
yes, so that's where you have to add that. Okay. And can we have some special use case on special handling note? I think I have given some examples. So let me just because special handling notes is something that's a global feature. And now let's so what we can do is like we can create a separate small video on this special handling notes with some more examples and all for you guys, so that it makes sense. Okay. I think a lot of questions are coming from special handling notes. So that's there. Thank you for the session. How to convince the okay. Arjun is asking, thank you for the session. How to convince the stakeholders and client to opt for CSM in Servicenow? See, CSM has its own benefits and all, right? So there,
Show, just show them the sales video. They
yeah,
will get convinced.
that's a better idea. Just show them the sales video and all. But definitely, see, firstly, what I think is like understand their requirement, right? What exactly they are trying to do, and try to match that with the CSM product, right? Give them something like, okay, if they are doing some process and you can try to map that in CSM, definitely they will go for it, because that's what I have felt in other modules like GRC and all. So I was working on GRC, they have some kind of a use case and all. So I tried to build the same thing in a small POC for them, and they were convinced and they wanted to get the policy and compliance module. So that are there. What are the topics we need to be clear on clearing the CIS CSM? See, for exam, I gave the exam long back, so it's better you refer the blueprint that's there. And let me just try to find the blueprint for you guys and share you in the chat. Okay, CIS CSM blueprint. I think if you Google this also you will find it. But yep, so I think here it is the blueprint. So I added the blueprint, so in the chat you guys can go ahead, and I think should have given time to open and then start. Okay, and where it is gone last. Thank you very much, Nitesh. I think you are answering a lot of questions for us. Something out of scope. How does licensing work in ServiceNow? Does it work for user portal? See, licensing, it's something I always say, talk to your account representative, because if I say something, you'll come back to me, okay, why you said like it's kind of free, or you said it's different cost, because for every different account ServiceNow provides have a different licensing thing. So it's always better to contact your account representative. So I don't get into licensing things and all. It includes user license. Okay, Nitesh answered it. Okay, thank you, Nitesh, again. Seems CSM is interesting. Yes, it is, definitely. And okay, Twinkle is saying should have given time to open a link and start the quiz. Yeah, thank you very much for the feedback. So Devashish, like, let's give them some time next time, some 1 minute extra for them to open the quiz.
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, and as you work quite close to CSM product, is there something related to mobile based OTP login setup and social media sharing functionality? So related to mobile based OTP, I think for OTP they have some kind of a like multi SSO, like multi-factor SSO, something is there, right, for OTP.
Yeah, it's
And
multi-factor authentication.
yes, so that's there. So there, and for social media functionality, last time, because I haven't implemented the social media functionality for any user, but last time when I looked into the social media functionality, that was not there. There was no interaction from social media to ServiceNow, so it was all manual thing. But I'm not sure on that part, and I'll probably look into that one and come back to you. Okay? Continue, or they have something on the roadmap. Maybe I haven't checked the roadmap for CSM, to be honest, so I'll do that. And yeah, Naresh, that was the right name. So sys resolution shaper underscore config, this is the table name for where you can just configure your the timeline. Okay. And an ISP is selling broadband services and voice. Let's see some service code for just checking if I'm biased option. An ISP is selling broadband services and voice services and register orders through. They need ServiceNow platform to help raising faults for the orders placed above. Do you recommend a case management? Is selling a broadband services, and I think what you are saying is more of like a Vodafone example, like how Vodafone, and because if you look into the ServiceNow's customer service, servicenow.com, not the docs one, Vodafone is one of the customers that are using the ServiceNow CSM, right? So they are also selling this broadband services and voice services. So, and you are saying that that it's for the faults and all.
Let me explain the scenario,
Yes.
Pranav. So there is a ISP, and there are resellers who are doing who are reselling the broadband services for this particular ISP. Okay, so what the reseller is doing is they are getting the purchasing bulk broadband services from this ISP, and they are trying to resell the services, which includes the voice as well as the data services or n number of services whichever is included being provided by the ISP. Now, when a customer orders, let's say the end users are ordering from this particular reseller, right? So the end user might face some trouble in real time, that they are facing some network issues, or they are facing some other issues, okay, related to these services. Now,
the end user will not be directly contacting the ISP, but they will be logging a issue with the reseller. Okay, so the ISP wants to provide a methodology so that, or provide a way or interface for the reseller to come and log in these issues, whatever has been reported from the end user. Okay, so in this scenario, the ISP wants ServiceNow to come into the picture. Okay, so the reseller should probably raise the fault. Okay, for these orders whichever has been created, the fault should be logged on the ServiceNow platform. That's what the ISP expects.
Okay, so
Does ServiceNow act as a solution for
see,
this scenario by through case management, or am I sounding a little bit biased here?
so if you're looking into just like you're creating a fault that are related to certain products, right? That's if I like summarize it, you have some products and these reseller needs to raise an issue for that products, right? Into ServiceNow, right?
Pranav, what I think of in this question from Anish, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like it's a common case for CSM. What you need to do is you need to opt for B2C. Okay, and that B2C, it would be first thing, it would be standardized, so all your individual consumers would be able to log a case on single platform. One case is cleared. Second comes your retailers or the resellers, what are they? So you need to create their groups in form of agents or the what we call assignment group. Basically, you consider them assignment groups. So suppose a case come from this cost center or particular location, so you can use that as a field for deciding which group that case should be routed to. So suppose there's a case in my area, but I use Airtel internet, so I raise a case at Airtel end, but the case is automatically assigned to my local reseller. So this way the solution can work. And CSM is one of the things that is one of the use cases where I have seen CSM.
Yeah, that's there. But Anish, like what you were saying is like, are there any accounts or contacts that will gonna create these all cases? Like we have to look into those scenarios also, right? If it's a small use case, then where you are just logging into case.
This is for I mean, let's say the end user, the scope is for almost let's say 90,000 users. Okay, 90K users. So that's the scope.
90,000.
When I'm talking about end users, so we are talking about around about some 90,000 users.
Okay, so these are 90,000 users that you're saying that these are like kind of end users who gonna create the case or any type
No,
of
they will be
ticket.
reporting they will be reporting the issues for the broadband services that they have purchased from the reseller. So there are three players here. One is the ISP, second one is the reseller, who is like the middleman who is getting all these services from the ISP and then reselling it to the
That's a
end
partner.
users.
Basically, we can say a partner for ISP.
Yeah.
Correct. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, I just couldn't catch up with the right word. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have the resellers, we have the ISP, who is the primary player. The secondary one is the resellers, and third one is the end users who are raising the issue after availing these services.
After availing, yeah, then as Dhruv mentioned already, so this is example for, because I thought in a different way. I thought like there is one set of people who are just raising the case, and then there is no sense of going with the CSM. But what you are saying, that we have ISPs there, then we have the resellers, they are the partners and all, so they will be having their own contacts that will gonna raise a case and all. Right. So that's a typical use case for CSM.
CSM, right? Yeah. Okay.
And you can also check there's one module.
Also clarified a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah, Anish, one more thing. There is one module that has come in the Paris release, that is telco. We call it telco. That is telecommunication management. It is for this particular scenarios only. It's again is based on built on, basically not based on, built on CSM only. So you can consider that tailor-made solution as well. So
Okay. Yeah, telco communication service management. I will share it.
Okay. If you have any product documentation links, then probably that would. Yeah.
Yeah. Send it.
Okay.
And
Thanks, Pranav
yeah, and guys, I have pasted the link in the chat for the article if you guys want to go and just look into the blog. So you will find the details there of whatever I've covered. So that's mentioned. So keep a note of that. And those of you who are just into the community and they're contributing in the community, so I think some of you have seen this my like add signature to now community application. This is a like a small utility I built. If you want to go ahead and play around with it, you can just, it's a free on Chrome Web Store. So I'm gonna add in the chat. So basically here we don't get any template option, and also you can just go ahead and click on this and you will get the templates. So I'll share that link. If you want to go use it, you can use it. So
Hi Pranav, can we add a hyperlink there? Just like we need to add my
yes,
LinkedIn profile link and my other blog
yes,
links.
you can add that. There is a video link that's
Okay.
there because it's a HTML field. So whatever you
Okay.
have to write in the HTML like araf and add everything, you can add it. So that's supported. So
Thank you.
this is the link, and I've also had the demo video also, so that you guys can just go ahead. And I think Devashish, did you guys finalize the results?
Yeah, result is finalized, but we should end up with the questions. I mean, there are few left, I guess. Or not left. No, let's rest our answers.
Yes, that's what.
So 2 or 3 questions are there. So just let's wrap this thing up and then we can.
So I think what is the question? Then initially we can connect over LinkedIn. So I think they're trying to connect. Can we integrate CSM? Can we integrate CSM with social media pages like some accounts of FB pages? So Mohit, like I think you asked the question before also about this social media. So the thing is that when I last interacted with the social media part, that was a manual thing. But definitely there is something that would be present. But I haven't come across I haven't used the social media plugin if there is anything in ServiceNow. So I have to look into
We
this.
built that thing, yeah. Pranav, you are forgetting these things.
No,
We
no.
built that
That
where we were having negative or positive
correct.
tweets. We were
That
creating
is
cases
custom.
automatically.
No, he's asking about integrating the social media out of the box. That is something we did custom. So
Yeah.
that is custom. So out of the box, it's like Dhruv, you want to share that video? If you want to share, just add it in the chat. And
I have to search, man. I have to search where it is.
but
I don't have that link handy.
Mohit, this is a good question. I have already noted down this one, and let me just check about the social media because I haven't come across a client who is using social media and this plugin and all. So I have to check that. Okay.
Sure, Pranav.
Okay,
Sure.
Mohit. And I think we are done with the questions, guys. So I'll stop sharing and
Yeah, if anyone has any questions that you want to ask, it's the right time because after this results, then thank you, then it would be over.
No, just to add, this is not a question, but to the entire team of Mavericks, I think this has been a fantastic session. Okay, so just joined halfway through the session, but it has been excellent. The conversations, especially involvement from others as well. So great session, and looking forward to joining you guys on the further ones.
thank you very much, Anish.
Yeah.
Anish.
And bro,
I have one
next
question.
time, just one thing, bro, you join in the half day, but next time try to join earlier because we had a party before this. We're having some fun music, so join early, man.
Definitely, I missed out on the LinkedIn post. I'm sure you would have posted this on LinkedIn, but I just missed out on that notification. Otherwise, I would have joined early. It was my colleague who notified me of this session, and I saw it was Pranav who was conducting it, so quickly joined.
Thank you, Anish, and definitely next time I'll just ping you separately also if you forget. So okay,
So here are the winners. Can you see my screen?
okay. Mahesh. Jan.
The first is Mahesh, second Chandrik, third Srikanth G.
Congratulations,
And how
guys.
much they got correct? I mean,
Mahesh got 8 points, Jan and Srikanth got 6 points. Jan was like 10 seconds.
Awesome, guys. Congratulations.
congratulations. I'll tell you one secret. When I tried, I got around 7 correct. So if I wouldn't have seen the answers, I would have also won the prize.
Yeah, for the team Mavericks, you cannot win the game.
Yeah, we have. So,
I have a complete lot, man. I can take everything.
okay. So,
So,
Dhruv, you wanna make the next announcement?
yeah, thank you from the team Mavericks, and we have prepared this slide to know the organizers of the team Maverick in case you want to connect with any one of us. Archer, Ashutosh, Dhruv, Devashish, Gopal, Pankaj, Pranav, Vikalp, and Vivek. And Dhruv, you can announce for the next event, I think.
Yeah, so first thing, great session, guys. So if you are seeing the screen, so we have around 3 MVPs. I mean, that is one of the rare group in Servicenow community where you have 3 MVPs, and rest of the people are experts in their organizations. Okay, so the reason to show you this, because either me, Pranav, or Ashutosh were getting most of the queries, and the count of queries is pretty huge. And uh, we apologize that we couldn't answer to all of them. That's why we just want to reroute those queries to these people, trouble them as well. They are also the part of the core team. And regarding the next event, so next is going to be definitely it's going to be the CSM Bootcamp Part 2, and today is 6, so most probably it would be around 20th, I guess. And the registration we will open, that is on product whenever he wants to.
Yeah, so guys, I'll let you know. And guys, if you have any further questions on CSM, and if you want us to have some topics that you want us to cover, just add this. Like, I've shared the article link, so add the comments there itself, so we can just read it, and we'll just let you know about the next session in couple of days. Okay.
And Pranav, we missed about now learning CSM simulator.
Yes,
I mean,
I'll add that because I'll just add it in the document this article link itself.
and based on our session, they can complete that simulator, right?
Yes.
All the exercises.
So most of the exercises they will be able to complete, and because there are notes also in the simulator, so you can just refer that. But if you can try it, and if you're not able to do certain exercise and all, you can just let us know, and we can just help you out with that answers and all. If you want, we can just solve whole simulator with you guys in the call itself live, and you just have to let us know. Let us know your thoughts on that, and probably in next session we can just solve the whole simulator if you guys want. Totally up to you guys. Okay, guys. So, yeah, guys. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye. Have a good night, good
Bye.
day, or whatever, wherever you're located.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.